a webinar on Rp3 and groups. So, okay. Okay, control standard. Okay, camera's on. All right. I am live, up to 8 hours live. Let's rock and whoa. Okay. Settings. Say. Great. Copy. Paste. Right. Send it. Okay. Okay. All right, we are on, and I got a camera, microphone. Viewers, it's just me. Okay. All right, so I need to go back to YouTube. Since this is my thing there. How did I do that? Okay, go to Google. Go to Hangouts on Air. Here we go. Hey. Wow. Okay. Now I'm getting it. So that's what I'm going to do is turn this. Perfect. Me? Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Hey. Wow. Much better. There you go. Okay. Well, today, this is Robert Allen McCray, and I'm here today to do a little. Okay. All right. Okay. This one. Let's see if this is the one. Yeah, I'm on this camera. It's a much better camera. Okay. That's you guys. Okay. The right process. Okay. Any feedback? All right. This is Robert Allen. This is Robert Allen McCray, and I'm here to talk to you about RP3, the right process, the right path, right plan.
just recently took a course with Robert Johnson out of North Carolina, actually Charlotte, and he had amazing insights. Hi, this is Robert Allen McCray. RP3, the right process, the right path, and the right plan. And that, my friend, is where rubber hits the road. Hi, Robert Allen McCray here. The right process, the right plan, the right path. That is RP3. And many times throughout my life, and the reason why is many times I failed to imagine. Yeah, failed to imagine. So when you actually go through the questions and really go through them in a depth way, you can actually reach the result you're looking for. And that is what RP3 is all about. It's actually whatever vision, whatever plan that you are actually going after, that vision, that particular dream that you've had, there becomes the right process, the right path, and the right plan. And that, usually, my friend, is you're trapped in a prison here, and you want to get over here to the paradise. And there's usually a number of steps that get you there. That is what we're going to talk about here today. And that is what RP3 is about. It's finding that bridge that gets you here to the promised land. Why is that so important? Because it's really that you need to ask yourself in order to make sure that you're on the right path. So the plan that you take is the one with the changes of technology and the changes of the way business is today. I mean, the average age of business today it's about 5 years. Where it was 40 years ago, it was about 60 years old on an average. So, asking the right questions, having an imagination about where you want to go to achieve your dream, and then going through that process puts you on the right path. Thank you. RP3 is a process that delivers the answers to the dreams that you are trying, or the goals that you're trying to achieve. That becomes where we hit Hi, Robert Allen McCrae here. RP3, the right path, the right plan to get you from the prison that you're in to the paradise or the dream that you always wanted to achieve, the goal that you wanted to achieve. And that is done by asking the right question and really being in depth about what that question is. And part of what in our culture, in our way of life has been that we had a lack of, it's actually a failure of imagination. RP3 has a way with this new technology, with today's technology, to actually drill down and get those questions that you can actually reach the goal or the path, know the right path to take, and then we develop a plan to get to the dream or to the goal that you're trying to achieve. And that is an essential part of what RP3 is all about. Because most of the time, why are, we work for people such as the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve had an issue. The issue was, it did. So we had, in 2008, we had to uncover what the people did not understand what the Federal Reserve did. So we had to give them information so they understood what the Federal Reserve stood for. The same is with Dubai. Dubai, that never pumped any oil, but also a lot of oil ran through that country. Well, it was only grossing in 2009, like 1% GDP. So what we did is we went in and asked a series of questions that unfolded the dream of Dubai. Went from 1% GDP to 5% just because we were able to ask the right questions to get the answers to the goals that they wanted to achieve. And that's what RP3 brings to the table. It has an immense amount of ability to grow your company, grow who you are as an individual, and whoever the stakeholders are, actually get their needs met. Thank you, Robert Allen McCrae. Hi, Robert Allen McCrae here. The right process, the right path, the right plan. Well, in the beginning of all this process of what RP3 is really about, is setting you on the right path to achieve your goals. We have to begin a process is questions. Number one, it's questions. Asking the right questions. And spell questions right is the most important part of what RP3 is. And the essential part, what the actual resolve of the issues would be for Okay. No, you just got told to keep it. Wow. Okay. Hi, Robert Allen McRae here. RP3. What is RP3? Well, it's putting you on, it's a process, it's a path, it's a plan. And a lot of what we have to understand here is the beginning of all this, we're going to give you 7 concepts to look at. 7. And it's an overview of what RP3 and how we go. And the very first one is framing a question. And that's number 1, framing a question. Why is that so important? Because question. That gets you the answers that you need to achieve your goals. And that question, define it in the right way, gives the importance to understanding what the direction that you want to go in. And asking those right questions. Like an example, who would ask the right questions when the Challenger took off and a piece flew off the Challenger, went into outer space, and then as it re-entered, all that time that it was that it was out of this off this planet, we could have been we knew all the time that there was something that wasn't correct. And that is what happened when the piece, when they re-entered, that little piece that after it re-entered blew that thing apart. Well, let me tell you something. If we would have had enough framing questions in the beginning of that whole process and enough imagination, real question in our minds, what would happen if that piece fell off? Well, results would have been different. Well, the next thing would be number 2. It's a hexagon map. And what that is all the different possibilities that would come up out of these framing questions. And then you would just go down through that list and list them. So then that would draw any critical issues that would come up, any developing, then we would develop, after that is the developing clusters of information. And we would cluster those hexagon. It would be named, actually, it's more of a linear aspect. And number 3, it's the stakeholders matrix. Who is involved? Is it only you that is involved? How many other people are involved in identifying? So the important thing is identifying all the players and making sure, and we all have to stand in their shoes. So we're exploring the alternative viewpoints of each person. And that is the stakeholders. Okay, huge point. Number 3, we develop a success, or that's number 3. Number 4, we develop a search map. We generate options out of this hexagon map and what the stakeholders want. We develop, which is number 4, a search map. And that generates the options that we have in order for us to be on the right path and the right plan. Number 5 is testing those options. You know, we have to test them in order to build a practice field, so we know what those different options would be, and exploring the possibilities of the future and the consequences behind that. It's a huge thing if you understand that those what the consequences are doing, so we're on the right path to develop the right plan. Well, number 5, actually number 6, and that is testing those. Now, number 6 is actually testing the options and develop a robust strategies. So it's testing again, but testing in a way, a robust part of what the consequences would be. And you know what? And number 7 is developing that success matrix. It's more of a causal map. So it has an overview of where should most of the people be spending their time. That's a big important part. So what we would do is, I call it a success matrix. And that gives us an overview where you need to spend most of your time. So then when you're on the path, that is the plan that we're following within the success matrix. And where that lays for you is where it can develop. Throughout these right questions, we can develop that success matrix. And the probability is very light. It doesn't mean that you're gonna, once you reach your goal, that you won't have a whole new set of questions that you're gonna have to ask. Because there ends up being more of an expansion of where are we going next from this. So that's what RP3 is about, and that's what it means about going through the right process, the right path, plan for you. Thank you. This is Robert Allen McCrae. Put your name and number in below, and thank you. Hi, Robert Allen McRae here. RP3, the right process, the right path, the right plan. And today we're going to give an overview of what that looks like, the process, and what it means for somebody to use the process of RP3. And number one here is the framing question. The framing question is probably the number one thing that gets us where we want to go, because that's where a lot of our options are at. If we would ask that framing question, if we have the imagination of what our goal looks like at the end result, we can go through and start asking the questions that get us to our goal. And it's in the framing questions allow us to discover what is important that we need to focus on. And it's defining, defining the framing question is to get the definition down of what it is so we get the details right. Give you an example. The space shuttle, the Challenger, it took off, went into space, the piece fell off before it went into space on takeoff. On re-entry, if they would have asked enough questions and imagined the re-entry enough times, they didn't take it serious because it's been done before, it's been over and over. They didn't think it was an issue. Well, that piece caused, well, like what everyone knows, and it disintegrated the Challenger. Now, asking those framing questions might have prevented that. Number two, hexagon map. Okay, and what that means is we all, from the questions, the framing questions that we ask, we put them in the hexagon map. And very simply put, it's almost a very linear aspect, but there are a bunch of clusters. And all the surface critical issues come up. And that's when we develop clusters. And it defines the big picture. Number three, who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders in this. It could be for a company, it has to do with, it depends on how big the company is. If it's the Federal Reserve, who are the people in charge that make the decision? If it's the Republic of Dubai, who are the people that are going to be directly affected by the end result, the goal? It's an individual company. Who in your family? So this is where the stakeholders come in for. So identify, we're like the key players, and we need to stand in their shoes and explore the alternative viewpoints that everyone has. And that's what the stakeholders really, really, really have to be addressed in this situation. So number four is we draw a search map. So a search map is, search map down here. Search map is we explore all the generate all the options. What if this happens? What if we go down B? What about using D? And that's what the search map does for us. And 5 options. Okay, now testing those options in a general sense, we build a practice field. You know, we build a practice field. Then we explore what the future and consequences are in the testing of this number 5. Number 6, we just still do some more testing. And the reason why we do more testing is that we build a robust strategy. And we come up with a strategy that is hugely important. Strategy that puts us on the right. And number 7, the success matrix. Okay, what that is, very simply put, we draw a matrix of all the possibilities, but there is one that sticks out amongst all of them, and that is our plan to implement. So each one of these we can go much more in depth on, but it gives us an overview of what Rp3 and what it can mean to you and your business, and how we can take your dreams, your goals, and make them happen. And realistically, go through a lot of different variations in order for you to reach your goal. Thank you.